Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions. You're watching I Watch You Watch. We're covering today the scene Atlanta. This is season 1, episode 3, entitled Snapshots and Showdowns. I do appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Thank you. Like this video. You can also subscribe, share it, and you can leave your comments below. Now let's get into this episode. All right, so I got a lot to say. But first, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and all the things. We're gonna start with Delon. Delon is doing this birthday photo shoot. All I gotta say is body. Delon, your body, as the people would say, is sickening. We do meet for a brief second. His boyfriend, is it Matt? Matt or Mark? I didn't write down his name, but it starts with an M and all that. But it's going to be a birthday shoot. We don't know Delon's age. And it's also going to be something for his business. He talks a little bit about his personal struggles with his thyroid, which made him gain a lot of weight. And also having Graves' disease. My sister had that also, with other things that were complicating her health. I understand a little bit about that. So next, which is basically the main scene, the cast meets up per JT. I guess this is in Potomac, Atlanta. We meet at a Mexican restaurant, minus Carl. Carl is away, handling business. Scotty says in his confessional, look, I know I'm going to be meeting JT, and I'm prepared, and look, I'm willing to handle the fallout because of the bomb that I dropped. Now, JT is in his confessional. Not JT. Bando is in his confessional with saying, I don't know about what's going to happen at this restaurant. I'm feeling weird vibes with JT and the DJs of the world. I said, oh, I guess towards DJ, which I also have a question mark over my head for another confessional when you were making comments about DJ. I don't know what that's all about, but hey. Anyways, Scotty gets to meet Delon for the first time. Delon is that person. Like, she's gonna make a scene when she comes in. I don't know how to address your pronouns. Hopefully I'm not saying anything wrong. Please don't take offense to it. But she comes in ready, But anyways, they greet each other, everyone sits down. We get an entrance by DJ. And also, JT comes in. JT got to walk. I will say this reminds me, there's this meme that had been going around with Megan Good. Megan Good back in the day, early 2000s, where she's got this like sexy walk. It kind of reminded me of that. So I'm going to give you a little bit of something as far as positive, JT, because I'm coming for you. Just to let you know. So we find out that basically everyone's familiar with everyone in some type of way, except for Scotty and Delon, but they met each other. JT mentions about Bando, to Delon, saying Bando didn't know that JT does music. And then she says, first off, everybody knows I do everything. So basically, I am everything, and everything is me. I think I'm getting that from Living Single, Kyle Barker, where he's singing in the mirror and all that stuff. But anyway, JT says that she feels like Bando said that in a very shady way. And then we go back to the conversation about him being exposed as a clout chaser, or that JT was exposed for talking about Bando being a clout chaser and all that good stuff. And then JT wants to know from Scotty, how did you bring this information to Bando, since you were the one that carried that bone? And then Scotty asks Bando, how did I bring it to you? Let him speak. What was it? They talk about what Scotty actually said. Scotty actually said, hey, somebody's saying that you're a clout chaser, and I defended you. Where Bando is really tripping up at is that he didn't think that it would come from JT. He said that he thought it would come from Nikki. I'm presuming Nikki is the person that had the camera out and was filming everything, and she's also on the panel for Whether You Like It or Not. the Scene Atlanta panel. So I'm thinking it's that woman. So, all right. And then JT asked Bando, what made you so offended by me bringing it up? Bando said, well, it's the narrative that's just going around the web world. And he now speaks up on how he is and what his character is to Scotty. You know, I never used this man. He promoted me on his own will. And then DJ said in the corner, because they in love. Then Delon jumps in and says, so y'all together? And of course they give the same answer. We're not really together. We are just figuring things out. That's not good enough for JT. It's never a direct answer. And I said, yeah, it is. It's where we're at. I just need you to know. I mean, Scotty already admitted, okay, well, he's an Aquarius. So Aquariuses you will never figure them out. They're going to always keep you guessing. They're going to give you enough information, and that's just that. So I don't know what else to tell you, JT and anyone else. Then a DJ starts singing, I think this is Kelly Price's song, He Proposed. Anyways, JT says, well, look, that's not good enough for me. Let's get further context into this whole relationship, non-relationship. Delon tries to help out JT. And Delon asks JT, were you saying it because it's what you heard or what you felt? JT says both, as far as the whole clout chasing situation and opportunist situation stuff, that label that they're trying to put on Bando. Bando says, and I agree, we've been around each other several times, and you've never expressed it to me. JT says, I've never had a conversation with Scotty first, and that's why I didn't talk with you, Bando. I wanted to know Scotty's mindset. We've never directly talked about anything personally about him, his love life, and etc. We can put that on the table. So you, and already knew this. So as to me, JT, you're trying to say that you are friends with Scotty, but you know nothing about him personally. You've never gotten into any type of personal interaction. That just sounds like surface friends. However, you're coming as, I'm this friend and I need to protect Scotty. So what is it? I mean, you've said what it is, but give me your definition of what friend is to you as far as the friend nature of your relationship with Scotty. I'm just saying. So then we see Bando starts a conversation with DJ about running into Devontae, him and his husband. We don't know what that's about, but it looks like DJ saying, look, as Bando's going on about whatever the situation is, DJ says, well, I haven't been around. I don't know anything about that. So basically, don't ask me because I don't know. Next thing you know, JT signals for Scotty to speak privately. And everybody's like, where are they going? Bando in his confessional says, JT took my man to the side. Now we know that confessionals happen either during the season and after the season. Either or. You know, so obviously there's a little bit more concrete. There's something that's been cemented about this relationship between Scotty and Bando. At least now. So I think he let it slip. Maybe he didn't really want it to slip, but it slipped. So Scotty and JT come back to this table, and then now it's revealed that while Bando was in Dallas, he was having big fun. Big fun. Ain't that right, Bando? You was having big fun with the wretched. So in the streets of Potomac, it is being said that Bando has been smashing people there in Dallas. So Bando at this point is like, oh, wait a minute. So who did I sleep with? Who said this? Bando ended up saying, no, I didn't sleep with anyone. And then JT was like, do you believe him? Now I got to back up because Scotty did speak about the personal conversation that he had with JT about this whole Dallas situation. Scotty already said he knew. I don't know if he told JT that. One thing about an Aquarius is that they always have an ace up their sleeve. And they're not going to let the left hand knows what the right hand is doing. He already knows information. So it's like the gag is, there is no gag. However, it can be embarrassing to Bando because he's been being put on front seat and the hot seat. Now, granted, this stuff is probably made the blogs, and maybe that's why we're talking about it. The only thing I connected to, are they talking about this whole situation with Jet? And the only reason I'm speaking anything of it is because if you remember in my first review, there is some content out there where I just saw a video come down. I didn't even watch it, but I just saw the thumbnail, and it was everybody that Bando seems to be involved with. There was Bando with the girl, Bando with Scotty, Bando with Jet. I immediately thought it was nonsense. It's just like, what is this? Because I already knew that Bando and Jet had some music out. It was already released or something. Anyways, because I follow Jet. So I knew that there was music released. I'm like, what is going on? It felt very National Enquirer type of gossip. I was like, whatever. So that's the only thing I'm connecting it to. I don't know if that's the person, because throughout this whole conversation, JT, who's confident, but not revealing the source, or even the person or people that Bando were screwing in Dallas. But do you believe him? JT says. Scotty says yes. And then Scotty says, we're not together, so he can do what he wants. And JT says, that's convenient. What do you mean it's convenient? Is it because Scotty isn't falling for what you want to present to him? I mean, should you be a lawyer? JT, have you missed your calling? Should you be a prosecutor? Or since you do everything, maybe you are going towards your, what is it called? Whatever it is. Law school. Are you in law school? Because that might be where the path you need to go in everything that you do. Bando again says, who told you that? And then JT says, it don't matter. How doesn't it matter? You're making these very scandalous accusations against him. Now, again, that could be in the World Wide Web. I don't know. And then you're doing that in front of my dude. It's not my dude, but now he's my dude. Like, so what are you trying to just sabotage what we got going on here? The reason I may not have maybe some red flags up, and I'm not even in his inner circle, all that stuff, none of that, is because Scotty said they broke up some time ago. They were in a relationship, they broke up, and all that kind of stuff, and now they're rebuilding. An Aquarius, it's very rare for an Aquarius to spin the block. Obviously, that there's something deep there. There's something important with their connection with each other, that it's just not some finical thing. So I'm going to lean towards Aquarius Scotty, who wants to give it another try, who wants to rebuild. Because I'm telling you, an Aquarius is very quick to banish people from their lives. Like, I'm good on you. I'm good on you. JT says that Bando's giving swiping energy. And then JT gonna say it's giving whore. We went from clout chasing, opportunist, to now just a whore. I mean, you're both for saying that. Those are fighting words. Just like the little stunt that Bando pulled on Mr. James last week. I mean, that's bold to do. I'm like, whoa! We went all the way there. But, DJ in his confessional is saying, I don't really argue with real women, trans women, anything with a W, basically. And he wants to know why Bando is coming at JT so hard. Is there validity to what she said, since you're coming so hard? I mean, Bando's character is being tested and challenged hard. And then challenged in front of the person that he's building and rebuilding a relationship with. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot that a lot of this stuff is just coming on him. It's being sprung on him. And then it's coming in the form of, I got you. Like, I don't understand why Bando can't react. I understand what you're saying, DJ, as far as coming towards a woman. I do get that. But I mean, JT got a smoking gun. And you think that Bando is going to stay quiet. And y'all already said how he is in the comments of these blogs. So you don't think he's going to pop off? Do you think that he's going to have any type of respectability, especially now that you're saying that I'm a whore? Excuse you? No. Again, I get where you're coming from, but no. There's some validity in him going off. Sorry. Now, is there validity in what she said? I don't know. I think that we need a lot more information. JT goes on to say that Scotty doesn't have the same connects, and she's talking to Delon, that me or you have. I may hear something that he will never hear, but you don't know his connects. And it can really come off as very insulting as to how you're treating Scotty. Yes, you're coming hard at Bando, but at the same time, you're just acting like Scotty don't know nothing. Scotty don't know how to pick friends. Scotty don't know how to pick connections. Scotty doesn't know how to pick a man. Scotty doesn't know red flags. Scotty doesn't know an opportunist when he sees one. He's new to Atlanta. He don't know nothing. Now, granted, I do think that Scotty has some connections before coming to Atlanta to know a little bit, but you really don't know. Until you get into the thing, you don't really know, per se, everything that's going on or whatnot. However, Scotty's no fool. I don't think, and he's an Aquarius, as I said before, and as he said. And JT, you an Aquarius. Now, I'm surprised you did not dot every I and cross every T before you presented your information, because you've only went by what the street said, Giselle. So it's like, okay. But then you don't really have a substantial case. Yes, there's got to be things out there, because Delon even said, like, look, innocent until proven guilty, but don't give people a reason to talk. So, possibly, Bando, you do need to polish some things. And I'm not just saying that to just be in a relationship with Scotty or whatever y'all are doing. But as you are building your career, put some polish on some things, you know? I don't think change who you are, but possibly change how you run a little bit, because it can come off a certain way. And you may not care. I think that that's fine too. But I think you got to know that it's going to not only affect you, but other people that you are connected to. I'm just saying. And this, now this heifer ended up saying, what was it? Okay, so after JT was talking about all the connects, Delon says, because again, throwing JT another lifeline, you don't want Scotty to be blindsided, as if he's just dumb. He's just Bambi, a deer, in the same lane of the headlights behind Karen Huger's car. I shouldn't have said that, but I don't care. I don't care. Then JT gonna say, regardless of Scotty making the first move towards Bando, Bando knows what he's doing. He's aligning with people who can do something for him. But I'm like, can you give example? Who are the other people that he's using? And this is the thing that really needs to be challenged by you, JT, because you have this concern for a friend that, by your description, really y'all just been surface friends. The show has allotted you the opportunity and space to now get and delve into Scotty on a more personal level. Because the show, you got to show some reality. You got to answer to some of the things that are in the blogs. I just need to know, were you this passionate with Carl about Carl doing any business with Bando? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Because you know Carl more intimately. You guys shared the same living quarters. So were you this objective, or put up this much of a fight for Carl? Don't do no music with him. Because you got to be just as passionate as someone that's entering a romantic relationship, business relationship, anything type of relationship, as you say that you can spot an opportunist a mile away. So Bando was using Carl then, right? So I just need to know if you put up this much fight with Carl about Bando as you are with Scotty. And then Delon is handing more lifelines to JT because Delon knows how JT is coming across. And saying, well, do you have like personal experience of it? And she's going into, yeah, I know friends that have actually taken thousands. Like, you don't even know what Scotty and Bando's relationship is like. Have they loaned money out to each other? Or has he given him money? Like, what? I just need to know what makes you think that. But anyways, I'm going to say this. Overall, whether Bando's using whomever, Tom, Dick, and Harry, your net worth is your net worth. I learned that off of Bel Air, off this latest season. And it's true. You do benefit from your network in some shape, form, or fashion. In most cases, it's beneficial. In some cases, you're pouring into someone. There are three types of relationship types out there. There are the mentor and mentee relationships. There are more of the mentor, I already said that, mentor and mentee. There's the romantic relationships. And there's another form that I can't remember at this point, but there are three forms of it. So it's like, I don't know. But it's interesting, JT, at how hard you are and how intrusive you are, as if you know what's best for Scotty. And you're not even in the inner circle or anything. None of his inner circle friends are acting the way that you are. Scotty in his confessional is just like, you know what, both of these folks need to just shut up and stop talking about me like I'm not even there, because they're going back and forth, and I understand. And so, as I was saying earlier, that it's quite insulting for someone to actually just act like you just are, as I described earlier when I made a comment, like an invalid. Anyways, Bando then gets to reading and says that you need to focus your energy on styling season 2. I don't know what that's all about, but anyways, people were taken aback by that. And JT said, regardless of if I have a season 2 or not, every song that you make with whom you get with will never do anything than just break. I said, oh okay. And then the gloves are off. You only involved yourself with Scotty because you know it's going to put you on. I'm sensing and I'm feeling certain things that I really feel like people in general, and maybe a cast member or two, have Scotty and Bando effed up. I'm not going to say anything right now. I'm going to put it on the table because I want to see how these episodes roll out. But how y'all coming off as so being protective of Scotty, I call BS. Some people can show up and can be so performative as, I'm really here for you. Oh, I'm your real friend. And you do have those friends that will just get in the dirt and the mud and probably say things that you would not normally say. Some people are passive and just don't say anything, and some people just don't give a crap. They don't sweat the small stuff. But you have those friends who are like, I'm calling this out, friend. No, you need to say, I get that also. But again, you don't even have a personal relationship with Scotty to even go this hard for Scotty. Let's see. Delon vouches for JT. He says that JT has had his back. So look, I don't think that she really means harm to you. When I needed her, she was there for me. And then Scotty speaks up for him because Bando, he's a good person. He's all that. Like, what is it? Why is it so hard for you to believe that he's not this person that the narrative has been painted him out to be? So at this point, JT kind of just waves the white flag and says, you know what? I'm going to give you a brownie point. I really haven't had any personal situations with you. And Bando says, you know what? Next time, if you hear something out in these Potomac streets or you feel away, pull me to the side and say, hey, I heard this tea about you, and before it comes out, da 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 da, like, I'm gonna pass this along before I say anything else, da 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 da. Since you got these great connections out there. And then Scotty pulls out another ace out of his Aquarius pocket and says, the person that knows the most about this, about even our relationship like that, is him, DJ. We find out that DJ is the one that was the connector that got Scotty and Bando together. Scotty, who said in one of his interviews, I wanted him. DJ knew Bando, and the rest is history. So, and then you got JT. Oh, I didn't know that. I know you didn't know that. But the streets is your greatest power without any definites, no exacts. I deal with definites and exacts. Make sure the I is dotted and the T's are crossed before you come to me, because I'm going to have more follow-up questions, because you're not going to get away with these gray area questions or accusations and allegations. You can't get, no. I know how people can fix things up. I know how things could go. No, come to me with everything. Because you don't know what I know. And Aquariuses usually do their own research. And a lot of times Aquariuses don't even have to go searching for the research. Guess what? A lot of things that you may even pick up or feel, Aquariuses first have great perception and discernment. You may feel a thing. And I'll just say from my own experience, I hold on to it. I table it, and I see what happens. And we just sit and watch. And we'll even find out things. We ain't bringing nothing to the forefront because everything doesn't need to be addressed at that time. And a lot of things, we're going to really see how you move in certain situations on if I need to reveal anything to you. I'll just say that about myself. I'm an Aquarius. Yo. So, yeah. Like, you're going to reveal yourself before I reveal what I know about you. And then, even if I reveal what I got about you, you can be the greatest gaslighter in the world. But I know what I know. So don't discredit and discount Scotty for not being in the know. I don't think that he's made it in the 15 years, I think it is, of content creating in these YouTube streets without gaining some wisdom. I'm sure he's been burned in the past. I'm sure he has different boundaries up that he didn't have when he first started out in content creating. So it's like, why do you, not saying that he can't ever be burned again in life. It can happen. It's going to be quite rare that it happens. Is this it? Because I still spent a lot of time on this. Yeah, Bando says next time, DJ only says, look, I think y'all just need to go someplace together, Bando and JT, and to actually get to know one another. And maybe you can understand. And that's why I think, JT, that should have been your first bet. That's just me. Especially if you want to come around a person. At least Carl and DJ later on, they had enough guts to say, look, what's up? But again, you didn't know Scotty like that, but now you're coming on Scotty's defense as if you're his friend and just looking out for him as a friend. Yeah. Okay, I gotta move on because I've been on this way too long. Bando and DJ, they meet up. You know what? I'm gonna say this much. I'm taking a liking to DJ. I don't know, it's something about his presence and his personality that I really like. He doesn't seem messy. I think he's there for his friends. I think he knows his boundaries. I think he knows how to respect people's boundaries. He doesn't interject. Like, he could have interjected a long time ago and shut a lot of ish down. But basically, it was tag me in, friend, to Scotty when Scotty finally said, okay, DJ, he's here. He knows the whole situation of what's going on. So I like that. I like that about him. He's not a do boy, but guess what? He's going to allow his friend to be his friend and respect him, allow him to speak his piece, and then if I need to add something, I will. I like that type of person. Much respect. So anyways, DJ and Bando, they meet. And Bando said one of the wildest things. I don't know, does Bando just have this wild, this dry humor or something? Because I'm like, well, DJ got all these kind things to say about you within the scene. Like, why would you say that it looked like DJ just was coming out of jail or probation? Like, I didn't understand it. I just had my mouth open. Like, I thought y'all was friends. Like, I don't know. But anyways, GJ and Bando, they catch up. Bando says that, wait, no, not Bando. GJ said that he had to move abruptly out of his place and all that good stuff, so he was dealing with that. Bando talks about he has some shows in the Dallas area, and Bando and DJ wants to know, what is this between you and JT? And what's up with this whole Dallas situation? He said, look, I'm not in a relationship with Scotty right now. We have an understanding. There's no rush, and we don't want people to rush us. We're getting our ish together. But no, I didn't do what they said I did. I did not sleep with anyone. Boom. DJ does feel like it's looking like the streets got you. But it looks like you better go on and submit things with Scotty and don't put Scotty in a position to release you back into the community. I'm paraphrasing, but basically it's the same thing. DJ goes on to say, you know, I think that people do misunderstand you. You're cool and you're harmless, but you need to watch your mouth. Bando basically says, no can do. DJ said, look, I'm gonna handle JT. And he said, I'm still gonna read her. Carl and Scotty, they meet up, and basically Scotty gives a rundown of what Carl has been missing while he's been out of town. And all Scotty wants to know, why is JT so invested? Because we are just really just friends. Carl says that he believes that JT means well. But Carl also says that JT loves mess. Boom. Scotty says, look, me and Bando, we were in a weird place. There was something about that balloon pop show. I don't know anything about it. And then also the outside noise. I get that also. Kind of falling into the trap of what other people were saying and what they were presenting. And it wasn't false. Instead of talking about whatever they were feeling, he said that at least Bando was feeling away, but I wasn't feeling away, he was thinking that Scotty was feeling away. And Bando in turn was thinking that, okay, well, Scotty was falling into this, but really, I don't know. Just basically outside noise was now affecting their relationship. I understand about outside noise. This was a platonic relationship, friends or whatnot. Basically, people did not want me and this person to be friends. This is when I was like 19 or 20. I'll say this much because it's kind of more complicated than what I'm saying, but you can get the gist of it. I was a super church boy. This person that I began to become connected to, friends, who was also a part of the church that he joined, that I was already a part of. People were saying that he's gay, and the whole gist of everything is that they didn't want this person to influence me to be gay, which was really insulting in itself. Definitely now that I'm older. But anyways, my family has stuff to say. The whole church has stuff to say. People who were associated with our church, a particular person invited me out to eat just to tell me, don't be around this person. And all this time I'm like, okay, I'm good. Some time passed by, and a particular person called me about some information on this person. I ended up believing it. It was either that day or the next day that I saw the person, but I gave them the cold shoulder because I believed it. So by the end of that night, I ended up telling that person what this person on the phone told me. I found out the truth. It wasn't what this person was saying, and I found out that person's agenda at the same time. At that point, I just made a vow to myself towards that relationship and others, you know, don't be no dummy, but at the same time, make sure that you have a solid foundation, and make sure you discern other people's intentions towards you in this whole situation, because in whatever your relationships are, and stop listening to outside noise. You got to know what your purpose is and if you should be connected to this person or not, because you're the determining factor on if you want this relationship to move forward. Again, I think that I would support Bando and Scotty, and as I said before, because Scotty's actually circling the block. Whatever that looks like. Again, Aquariuses don't do that. So, hey, whatever it is what it is. But anyways, I enjoyed this episode. I talk a lot of ish. I don't care. But I enjoy the show. So, Stylish TV, thank you for another entertaining episode. To the cast, shout out to you all. And again, I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Like, comment, subscribe. And until the next one, peace.